In the previous video, we looked at UI Table View Controller. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to use the new UI Search Controller, make a search bar in the header of the Search Table View Controller that we made in the previous video. And finally, we're going to update our model to create a new initializer that receives the JSON and returns a photo instance. The UI Search Controller is a new controller that Apple provides us to create a search bar. It does not have any user interface controller and can be directly used from the storyboard. But it's fine. We can always code it manually and give more control over its behavior. Every time we interact with the search bar to search something, the UI Search Controller notifies the delegate about the change. To subscribe to this notification, we need to implement the protocol UI Search Results Updating in our class Search Bar Table View Controller. For more references about protocols, visit. Also, you can read more about the UI Search Controller in the reference link. Let's start to make our search bar using the UI Search Controller in the Search Bar Table View Controller. Define a new property called Search Bar Controller inside our class Search Bar Table View Controller. And since we know that this variable would not be nil, as we have declared it as an implicitly unwrapped optional. Now, let's put in some code to create an instance of the UI Search Controller and a search bar in the header of UI Table View. Let's put the code snippet. As you can see here, we have created an instance of the UI Search Controller. We have set the delegate of UI Search Bar Delegate to the class Search Bar Table View Controller, using reference to self. Later, we set false to dim the background when the search bar is tapped using the property dims background during presentation. Some styles were set for the search bar using the search bar style property. We defined the search bar, resized it by calling the method sizeToFit. Finally, we added the search bar to the header in Table View and set the property defines presentation context to true to avoid the search bar to remain visible when we navigate to another view controllers. Perfect. But before we can run our application to see the search bar in action, we need to implement the protocol UI Search Bar Delegate and implement the two methods search bar search button clicked and search bar cancel button clicked to be notified when the two buttons are tapped in the search bar and the keyboard. Implement the protocol and add the two methods to run the app properly. Now, let's run the app to see what we have created. And voila! Search bar is now visible in the header of Table View. If we make a click inside it, we can see how it changes. To see the keyboard in the simulator, sometimes we need to activate it the first time we open the simulator in Hardware, Keyboard, Toggle, Software Keyboard. Perfect. We set a search bar inside the table view. At last, we're going to update our model to create an initializer that receives a JSON with the values and returns an instance of the photo, making the creation of instances more easy. Let's start importing Swifty JSON in the file and creating a new initializer that receives a JSON as a parameter. Let's use the snippet. We need to update the properties to be optionals because the optional getters of Swifty JSON returns nil in case the conversion cannot be made. In this video, we learned to set up the search bar in our project. In the next video, we will learn how to set the data for each UI Table View cell, encode and set the data source of the table view. Well done!